Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to the NS9 Postgame Show Powered by Primanti Bros. I'm your host, Anthony DiNardo. With me, we have the Dougie Fresh in the house. Doug, Pirates lose 7-4 today. How you doing?
I'm not surprised. I am not surprised. So I got that. What I'm curious about is what have you done to Jim Rosati to make him keep scheduling you to do these shows with me? Like, I mean, that just seems cruel and unusual punishment. I don't know. What did you do? You guys need couple counseling or something. File a grievance with the union, your management. So I guess you can't do that. I don't know, but you guys got to work it out.
You see, Doug, I prayed and prayed that Jim would leave, and it turned another direction. Like when I said leave, I meant like leave, like for good, be gone, no more NS9. He just keeps going on vacations, just taking time off, PTO. And then sticking, and the thing is, no, you say like it's the reverse. He sticks you with me. He sticks you on like every other show. You're the punishment to Jim's days off.
People are revolting.
He's out there probably having a Mai Tai right now, watching the Kansas City Royals, feet up in the air, relaxing, and you're stuck doing a post. This is like your 13th post game show in like 3 weeks.
Yeah, and all of them with you, I think.
Yeah. So what did you do? That's what I want to know.
He's always hated me. Oh, well.
Forcing you to watch the Pittsburgh Pirates play, man. Yesterday was nice. I'm happy for Neil and Neil and Tyler got to talk about the Paul Skeens. The victory is a good game yesterday. Today not so much. Mitch Keller started, and Doug. I mean, to put it out here, I mean, Mitch Keller. The knock on him is second half Mitch Keller. He's really not doing much to fight that off right now.
No, I really thought he would be better this year. I thought Brett Strom would come in and kind of help. I mean, it doesn't appear that it's physical, right? So it's got to be, something between the ears. I don't know what it is, and I don't know why they can't figure it out, but it's frustrating. I mean, it's just he just had no control. And again, he's got that placid, that even keeled demeanor, so he doesn't look frustrated. It's like we want him to at least look mad, and he's just taking the ball back and throwing another terrible pitch, and it's either 4 feet outside or right down the middle. And his career ERA now I think is like 4.3 or something like and it's about where his season is. He's a really good pitcher in May, June, and July. And after that, if he pitched like this all year, right, he wouldn't be in the league. I mean, and he's done it now. I don't know, what is this, the third year in a row? It's a trend. He's got to do something about that. I didn't want them to trade Mitch Keller, but if they were going to trade Mitch Keller, I wanted it at the deadline. Well, now you try to trade him in the offseason. Now it's a guy that had an ERA of 6 in the second half. A desperate team trying to make the playoffs or something may give you something, but
Yeah. No, I mean, it is what it is. Like that's his knock, second half. And like honestly, 2022, Mitch Keller turned his career around. That was fantastic. And what's 2023 going to be? And he came out. And he was an all-star. Very good start, and he broke down, and you think, okay, well, hey, I mean, this is like the first full year of really doing it. He pitched 159 innings in 2022. That's when he turned around. In 2023, 194 innings. So you could discuss and talk workload potentially. Hey, what's 2024 going to be? And 2024 came around, and he was okay. He wasn't like he was the first half of 2024 like he was in 2023. He was solid, but then he saw the breakdown again, and he finishes back-to-back years at a 4.21 ERA, 4.25, which also, again, like is fine, especially for a guy who's going to eat innings. This year, I feel like the first half was better. I mean, Mitch Keller shown to be pitching well first half, not just logging innings, but he was pitching very effectively, not maybe to the 2023 level, but certainly better than 2024. I mean, this guy was looking, I mean, he was hovering around between like a 3.5 and 3.8 ERA, in that time frame. And like you mentioned, the month flipped over, and I think in the past 4 starts, he's been bad. I mean, they call it what it is. He's been bad.
Yeah, you're right. And like I said, we sort of made excuses, right? Look, he's still young. He's still learning in 2023. He's, the workload, that sort of stuff. Doesn't have that excuse in 24, and certainly doesn't have it now. The guy is definitely durable. Like I said, I don't think this is physical. I don't think he's worn down. He's a big, strong-looking kid. He's not losing velocity necessarily. He just doesn't have control. He's just lost his control. So is that some sort of lack of focus? Is that the losing, beating him down? I don't know what it is, but if the Pirates are going to keep, I mean, he is the highest paid pitcher on the roster by far, right? Like I think
player, but right, but
yeah, right. I mean, he makes 15 times, what Paul Skeens is making. I think he's making almost 4 times what Andrew Haney is making. Now that's more of an indictment of the Pirates that they've got all these minimum wage type guys on there. But still, when you're paying, when you're the Pirates and you're signing a guy to an extension, you need more than 3 good months every year. That's about all we're really getting. This April was a little better than it's been in the past, but his Aprils have been shaky. Then he's lights out in May and June. He starts to fade a little in July. And then by August, I'm like, hey, set him down. Just set him down. Bring up one of the kids. I know you need innings and all that sort of stuff, but these are bad innings.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, again, I'm going to allow him the opportunity to pitch out the rest of the year and see. I mean, maybe this is a bad stretch. I hope so. Regardless, I mean, he's still a valuable pitcher in the sense. I know we're talking trade deadline and trading him and whatever. I mean, I was open. I'm still open to a trade for Mitch Keller. But I think it makes more sense regardless of being done in the offseason. You're not really going to get what you needed at the deadline anyways. For all those saying that we should have traded him, you know what? You saw what they got in return for David Bednar. Like, what were you going to get in return for Mitch Keller with this guy at the helm as your GM? Like some more prospects that are not the ones that are rated better. We'll take these. We let this package instead. That's why I'm still, I'm open to a Mitch Keller trade, but I'm still hard stance if it's done. He's been done in the offseason. But regardless, as talking, like he does go today 3.1 innings. Gives up 5 earned. I mean, he starts off the game, Doug. 3 guys, just 1, 2, 3 on base, no outs. Nice. Already Oscar Marine's coming out to the mound to check on him. I mean, again, right from the bat, like you mentioned, the control, like he had no command. He also, he ends the day, with 3 walks, also 1 hit batter. He's just struggling again. Only lasted 3.1.
He didn't get help by, Brian Reynolds probably should have caught that drive to the wall.
Yes, that was just poor. There also was poor defense. Now,
again,
not much probably.
Keller is the author of this misery, no doubt. But yeah, he had some, co-defendants there.
Absolutely.
When this team looks bad, it looks really, really bad. But yeah, things have gotten bad when you bring in Yohan Romero after 10 batters, after 10 guys come up, and he's been Ramirez. He's been DFA'd, I think, by 13 teams. He's pitched the KBO, the Japanese league. I think he's pitched for 2 independent league teams, one called the Skeeters. He's pitched for a Cameroonian team. Who knew? I didn't even, and you're like, oh, thank God. He's coming in with a 7.02 ERA, and you're like,
yeah,
oh, thank God. What a relief. And then he pitches 3, perfect innings. Man.
To hand it to Yohan Ramirez, I put it out there like, is this the best game he ever pitched?
Yeah.
You could argue it. I mean, it is what it is, but he did look objectively, though, he did look good. I'm not here to say that means anything, but like kudos and hats off to Yohan Ramirez. he looked great tonight.
Yeah,
He did. Like he went 3 innings, no hits, no walks, 3 strikeouts. He just pitched really well.
Right. And again, usually for the Pirates, when things like this start out bad, they just keep snowballing, and he really put a stop to it and sort of kept things within reach, which seems silly when we're down 5, in reach for like a regular game.
Right. Yeah, in theory, absolutely. Again, like Mitch Keller gave up the 3 runs in the beginning part. We mentioned the 3 guys are on just off the bat. Gives up its 3 earned. He settled down a little bit. Then, of course, was it Alejandro Kirk who just sent one? Just crushed a baseball. Makes it 5-0. And yeah, I mean, at that point, you assume like it's this 3 runs, maybe, right? 5-0. Well, the way this team is performing as well, too, because like you mentioned with Reynolds, I mean, just defensively, too, this team this just seemed like one of those games off the start. Like this team just isn't really ready to play today. And it kind of showed. So yeah, again, it was 5-0. Ramirez does come in and holds it down. So like you mentioned, if there was going to be a chance, he allowed that. But ultimately at the end of the day, like there just wasn't. It was a 7-3 ball game. I do want to go to the offensive side here as well. So as mentioned, Keller goes out there and gets 3 guys on. They score 3 runs. With the bases loaded, no outs. Pirates are in a similar situation, Doug. I mean, Max Scherzer's out there, future Hall of Famer Max Scherzer, which Ryan says, hey, it's future Hall of Famer Max Scherzer. These are the Pittsburgh Pirates. Here's your Ryan's lock of the day presented by FanDuel. Go ahead and hit the over on 5.5 strikeouts. Well, that didn't happen because Max Scherzer only struck out 3. And honestly, like he didn't look. He wasn't sharp today either.
He was not. He hasn't been all year. And again, nothing better than the Pirates to make a pitcher look better. Like he's been bad this year. He threw 104 pitches today. It's the first time in 2 years.
Well, I'm not going to say he's been bad. He's got a 3.6 ERA. Like, he's not Max Scherzer, and he has certainly had his moments.
And he's pitched a little better of late. But I mean, again, he was a guy. If they had a decent lineup today, they could have got to him. He wasn't sharp. He wasn't striking. He wasn't blowing people away. But the Pirates trotted out that series of sub 200 hitters, and Mitch Keller, Max Scherzer is smart enough. He knows enough about pitching how to work through that stuff. So
sure, yeah, but yeah. So again, like as mentioned, like the Blue Jays went out there and they had bases loaded with no outs. They score 3. The Pirates kind of respond. The bottom of second, I mean, just almost right away. Bottom of second, Angel McCutcheon walks. Joey Bart singles. Jared. Oh, I'm sorry. No, that was another time. My bad. That wasn't that inning.
It's hard.
It was the.
Keep up when they're scored.
Oh shoot! When was it? The 6th. Gosh, I can't find it. They had three on. No outs. And the Pirates end up scoring 1 run that inning, which it was the 2nd. So was there an out? Maybe I misspoke.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't remember. But we got one.
Well, anyways, though. Yeah. So the Pirates, they effectively get 1 run the next one. So again, at that point in time, it's a 5-1 ball game. But again, going back to the offense also, Brian Reynolds he goes and has 2 hits today. Nick Gonzalez has 2 hits today. Brian Reynolds is tearing it up in August. Again, it sucks that it had to take this long. It sucks that there was like spurts of a week where he looked really good and then he just disappeared for 3 to 4 weeks at a time. But I recall you and I, Doug, on a post-game show, which isn't hard to imagine. We're on all of them together. It seems like you mentioned earlier.
Right.
We were talking like, I mean, if there's one thing you want to see, at least let's watch Brian Reynolds hopefully finish out the year strong, because you can't have an ineffective Brian Reynolds for 2026 if you have any hopes of competing, right? So if you can at least see some glimpse of Brian Reynolds kicking it up and being the same Brian Reynolds you're used to seeing for the last 2 months, that makes you feel a little bit better of, next year going into the offseason and such. And so far we are seeing that. I know it's meaningless, but I would rather see a good Brian Reynolds with his meaning list than a bad Brian Reynolds, and that's at least what we are seeing right now.
It's much like spring training or preseason football. Like, okay, we don't care if they win, and we don't even care if they do well necessarily. But if it's going to be meaningless, I'd rather see the guy have 3 hits in a game that are meaningless than go 0 for 3 in a game and it be meaningless. So
right.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we want to know that Brian Reynolds can still hit, right? Because guys fall off a cliff, man, in MLB. It's stuff happens just like that. And the fact that he's bounced back a little, it's only 2 weeks. I'm reluctant to trust it completely and make any proclamations, but yeah, I hope he continues. And I mean, we won't know until next year in June, right? Because we know he's not going to hit in May.
But the thing is, even then, like we talked, like even when he's not hitting in April, May, he's always been an above average hitter at least.
Right. He's still right. His Aprils and May are not spectacular, but they're not.
Yeah. Like he might be like 8% above average. And it's like, okay, June comes and he just clicks in there. But the thing is, he's still above average. Like this year, he was bad. I mean, at one point, he was the worst outfielder in baseball. Like that's the difference of this year opposed to past. I mean, even though like he doesn't have hot starts, he's playable.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, we're not calling him a problem typically in April and May, and we're just waiting for June to come. And this year he was a problem April, May, and then June didn't come, right? He had a good week in May that made us think, okay, here it is. And boy, did they pull out the carpet from under us there, man. Whew.
Yeah. Now again, I do want to say this too. I just want to add on here to push a little bit back on you. It has been more than just 2 weeks also. Like Brian Reynolds since the All-Star break. I know it kind of crept up and sped up there. But I mean, since the All-Star break coming into today, obviously it's going to be higher today because he had 2 hits, but a 124 weighted runs created plus. Coming in today's game, 116 plate appearances. He's batting 294, 336, slugging 477. So again, and today Brian Reynolds does go. Yeah, again, not
definitely
not
more
than away, but he does go 2 for 4 today with another double. Brian Reynolds has been putting together a better second half. He's the anti Mitch Keller right now. Right now.
I mean, I think it's the strikeouts that make it look worse. Right? He has never struck out at the rate that he has struck out this year, and so when he's having some of these 0 for games, it's 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts, and just sort of looks lost. But then he comes back and has 2 hits the next game. So you're right. Since the All-Star, he's been better. That can give us.
Now the strikeouts are still up there. I'll give you that. He's still striking out over 27% of the time, which is not typical for Brian Reynolds. But he's also not hitting 200 and having a sub 700 OPS, sub 600 OPS. I think he was at one point.
I would like to answer this question for Tony because we have the worst general manager in professional sports. And when I say professional sports, I'm talking MLS. I'm talking, whatever the G League. I'm not just talking MLB, NFL. The worst. If there is a team that charges admission, the worst general manager is Ben Cherington. And then you combine that when you have the worst owner, you need a really good general manager. We have the worst the worst owner and the worst general manager. So that's the answer. Sorry that it's not a little more analytically driven. It's just our general manager.
And also his question was right. Why is Ronnie Simon here, not Billy Cook or Cam Devaney or Nick York? And I'll say this: Billy Cook's on the IL, so there's at least one answer. Now, for the other 2, you can argue. I mean, I'll give him this. I would like Ronnie Simon is one I want to see for the rest of the year. Like, I'm not complaining that he's here, honestly, over Cam Devaney or Nick York. He's a part I wouldn't mind seeing. But let's also maybe get Cam Devaney up here. Let's maybe work a way to get 2 of them. Like, we don't need to see
there's
IKF every day.
Right. Yeah, there's exactly. Regardless of what you're planning on doing with IKF next year, it would be fine if you put Nick Gonzalez at third and Nick York at third and the other at second base for the rest of the year.
Sure.
That wouldn't be bad. Obviously they're wanting to see what Triolo can do at shortstop for next year. You had a good reason for why that might be. I'll let you share that if you want. But yeah, but that does hurt.
Well, again, I don't want to go too deep into that. That's more of off season. I've planted the seed on Bucko
Save that
Brew,
for one of your NS9 lives.
but I am. I am interested to see how Triolo finishes out the year at shortstop. Now, with that said, going back to the bad defense in the first half, going back to this team didn't look like they're ready to play. We talked about Brian Reynolds' bad play in right field, not getting that out. It was just a bad route. This didn't look good at all. Jared Triolo had a bad play at shortstop as well. And I ironically went back to that tweet I said and said, never mind. Because, hey, he's been a Gold Glover's utility. How's the glove going to look at short? And, of course, how's the back going to play? Regardless, he does go today 1 for 4, 2 strikeouts. He did have the bad play at short. Today wasn't a good game for Jared Triolo, so it doesn't help my stance of, again, there's more to this. But, yeah, he doesn't. This wasn't the day to do it, Jared. That's all I'm saying. This wasn't the day to do it.
Yeah. He did not, put a stake in the ground, to show that he could be a full-time shortstop with today. Listen,
again, all I'm asking for is to be the full-time shortstop till maybe, hopefully May,
right?
If Connor Griffin comes up, Yeah. But anyways,
is that too much to ask? Right. Really, we should just stop doing Pirates games and start doing Altoona Kerr for the next 2 weeks, or be more interesting things to talk about.
Connor got his hit and 60 stolen base tonight.
Yeah.
But yeah, so again, I was right in a second. It was 3. Kutch walked, Sawinski walked, and then Joey Bart singled. I knew there was 3 on with no outs for the Bucks at one point. So yeah, it was the second inning immediately after the first when the Blue Jays did theirs. And again, the Pirates capitalized by not 3 runs like the Blue Jays. The Pirates capitalized by having 1 run, which again, hey, at least they got 1 run.
Right. It's
0.
I
just want to go back and correct. I was correct on that.
Clearly, the difference in the 2 offensive lineups, right? They get in those situations, they get 3 runs. We get in those situations, we get 1 run. And you pointed out in our group chat, they only had 4 players in the lineup with a OPS of less than 720, and we didn't have any
3.
in the lineup.
3. The Blue Jays lineup today only had 3 guys under a 720 OPS. The Pirates didn't have any over 711. Yeah. This like the Office meme, right? These pictures are the same picture, right? With Pam holding up. No, that's not what this was. These teams are not the same. Certainly not the same offensively.
Yeah, if we were playing that session, one of these things is different than the others.
Yeah. There you go.
Right?
But so Mitch Keller doesn't have a good start. Johan Ramirez comes in, cleans it up. Mitch Keller goes 3.1. Ramirez comes in, gets the next 2 outs, goes 2 more, 2.1 innings in total, right? So there's a couple outs that need to be made, Doug, to finish the inning. Hey, you know what, Johan? You've done 3 though. Let's turn the ball over. Again, there's not many
job,
options.
Johan.
It's a losing game, so this isn't also like a clutch moment.
It's
in comes Colin Holderman.
Yeah.
In comes Colin Holderman. Doug, tell the audience what happened.
I think I think Dante Bichette crushed he hit the ball hard, got on base, and then was it Springer? Was it Kirk? Who was it? Somebody else crushed one, and yeah, just like that, it's 7 runs. The deficit.
Dante though.
Yeah. Dante, sorry, you can tell I'm old and losing my mind. That was Bo Bichette.
He looked like Dante.
Shout out to Daddy
in Colorado.
Yeah, it looked like he was playing in Colorado, right? Yeah, and Colin Holderman, right on brand. It's
crushed.
He's not fooling anybody except, I guess, Ben Cherington, right? Because he's not fooling any hitters. The opposition is like, gee, I hope he comes in today. I would like to pad my stats.
1.2, 2 hits, obviously the home run. Also had a walk in there, 1 strikeout. Doug, Colin Holderman has stuff. Like, he has stuff.
His first half last year.
I don't understand how someone was right. Like, we were we were arguing he should be part of the All-Star game.
Yeah.
Now he didn't play the full first half, right? He was started. I think he was an injured. I think that's what it was on the IL for a bit of time. So like you could see like he didn't, but like when he was there, I mean, he was lights out, and it was like, I mean, we knew this stuff was there, right? That's why we were intrigued about Colin Holderman to begin with. Like we knew this stuff was there from parts of previous years. You know, maybe now he's putting it all together, and then like that last year after the All-Star break, it just crumbled. And it's still
after
there.
the trade deadline. Remember, he took three of the losses,
but also started a little bit before that.
I mean, it did start earlier, but man,
after Houston
the trade
series,
deadline,
yes.
oh God, him and Bednar. I mean, that 10-game losing streak where we went from 3 games over, thinking we maybe had a chance to play off, especially after getting Brian Dela Cruz, because you know how good he is, and
right.
Man, he just like that, it was over. I remember like defending them, like putting Colin Holderman in. I'm like, he's been great all year. Of course, you go to Holderman in that situation. Now, by the third time they'd gotten to him in that situation, I'm like, okay, Derek Sheldon, you're doing a bad job here. But man, he had been really good. And so, I mean, one of the great things that could happen to the Pirates is if he could recapture that form. Very similar to Bednar, right? And maybe we were a little spoiled by how he bounced back, because he looked toast too. He looked done. And he bounced back. It happens with relievers all the time, but Holderman does not look anything like the way he pitched last year. He just, again, he's throwing 85-mile-an-hour sliders down the middle of the plate. This is stuff that I think I might be able to get it back.
2-seamers right down the middle of the plate. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a shame. It's one of those mysteries of baseball type thing, but golly, he was so good. And to be so bad is just unbelievable.
Right. Now, I guess similarities in that sense. David Bednar, I think most of us also fully believe like the stuff is still there. Something's off. There's still a good pitcher in David Bednar. He goes down to Indy. It was only 5 innings, but he goes down to Indy. 5 perfect innings, I think it was. I don't think it was any hits or walks, striking out guys, but it's just 5 innings. It's a small sample. Comes back up, and you see the regained form. Colin Holderman went down to Indy as well, and it was a longer than a 5-game sample size. He's been in Indy this year for 17.1 innings, 5.71 ERA. It's not also as if like he went down to Indy and fixed anything. It's the same problems. He comes back up, and it's still Colin Holderman. Now again, like the similarities are there's stuff there. Now that's where it ends. I'm not looking at there's stuff there. There's a good pitcher in Colin Holderman. There's stuff with Colin Holderman, but he can't harness it, command it, anything with it. He looks bad, and I don't know if it's just also like just the lack of confidence. He has no like it almost reminds me of old Mitch Keller in that sense. That it's like he's got to be better than this, but like it's just bad. And every time Mitch went out to the mound, it was just bad, and it all fell apart. And like that's how I look at Colin Holderman right now. I'm not here to say he's going to regain any form, but it looks really, really bad. And I just want to say here as well, like he has right now for the year, it is a 9.35 ERA as on the year. But going back to also last year, and I want to talk about since the trade deadline, he's got an 8.42 ERA, like over a calendar year in the major leagues. Like it's just been bad for a while now.
Sample size, right? It's not a small sample size, right? And he was bad.
No, I mean
he's not been good anywhere.
No, it's been 31 total innings. I mean, I guess the sample size is small in terms of over a year, it's only been 31 innings, but still, it's only been 31 innings because he can't finish outings. He gets demoted, and in AAA, like you mentioned, he gets
that's half
lit
a
up
season,
there,
right? For a reliever, I mean, that's that like I said, for a reliever,
or a little more.
It's still a pretty decent sample size, and again, especially when you're pitching someone. I mean, you were pitching him in some high leverage situations, like you just don't have that margin for error. Now, fortunately, for Colin Holderman, the Pirates will have lots of opportunity for him to pitch, in games that are out of reach.
I mean,
so maybe he can.
I don't know.
Yeah.
He look at it this way too. I mean,
there's no merit.
Oviedo's going to get called up tomorrow. There's still Bubba Chandler. There's still pieces down there that you might just see. I don't know, man. I think Holderman might be toast soon. I really do. It's just not there. I think you're hanging on to it, but at some point, you just can't hang on to it anymore. And I think we're seeing that his days are numbered for sure. That's it.
It's fair, right? He's not been cheated. If that's the case, if he gets DFA,
right. I mean, they're giving him opportunities.
They gave him opportunity time and time again. They put him in high leverage situations. They put him in meaningless situations. They sent him to AAA. It seems like they did everything they could to give him an opportunity to reclaim that form, and he hasn't. Now, he could be picked up by somebody tomorrow, and he'll be right back to form, because that's how it goes. And
right.
That's not even. I don't even put that on the Pirates. It happens with relievers. Sometimes it's just, some little thing, some little tweak, or change of scenery. So, I don't know what's going to happen with him, but if you can't fault anyone if he gets released, and, you can't fault him if he gets sent to AAA or what have you.
Right. So then also newly acquired Evan Sisk comes in, clean 1 inning for the most part. Had a hit, had a strikeout. I mean, they're ready to go home. It was a 7-3 ball game. But yeah, Sisk does his job.
He pitched well last night.
He's here,
right? Last night it was meaningful, and he did it. Now there might be something there. I don't know if it's equal to what Bailey Falter provided, but there might be something there.
Sure. But all in all, again, the story is, of course, Mitch Keller. If Mitch Keller doesn't do what he does, Paul Holderman probably not in the game to do what he did as well. We're not talking about that. Mitch Keller pretty much blew the game to the start. Obviously, the offense wasn't there either. 3 for 11, runners in scoring position, left 7 on base. Defense wasn't good, right? We talk about Reynolds, which wasn't an error, but wasn't a good route. Jared does get the error. Joey Bart's still not being able to throw to second base to get an out, and Nick Gonzalez still not be able to catch that bad throw by Joey Bart to get the out. Here we are.
A lot of time, with the eye test, a lot of time Reynolds looks like a pretty good outfielder normally, and it's the metrics that sort of hate him. But that he failed the eye test on that one tonight. I didn't need any advanced analytics to say, man, he should have caught that ball. That looked really bad.
Like tonight, the eye test is going to back up the metrics.
So.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it was again, the star of this show was Mitch Keller. He certainly, got some, best supporting actors contributions as well. You chalk it up, and you really hope that Oviedo can show a little better than his last time, that he can get you some innings, because, man, this bullpen, you don't have Ramirez tomorrow.
Right.
I don't know about
you
or Ashcraft, right? Yeah, I mean, it might be part of the reason you DFA Holderman is to bring up another reliever along with Oviedo to give you some length tomorrow.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, but we'll see.
But like what you said, Oviedo does have a locker today. Didn't get activated today. He's going to be there tomorrow starting. So tomorrow there will be a corresponding move. And again, I'm with you. I feel that's probably they could technically option Colin Holderman. I guess technically speaking, he might not get DFA'd. And at this point in time of the year, why not? You're probably going to need arms regardless to get through the season. But I'm sure this is probably Colin Holderman's last time up here, at least for the week or the next 15 days. Oviedo gets to start tomorrow facing Chris Bassett. Pirates play at 12:35 for the last game. So there's that. So stay tuned. Ryan, because it's a 12:35 game, Ryan will have his FanDuel Ryan's lock of the day. So whatever it is, just make sure you bet the opposite. Because
is Ryan on the show tomorrow? Well, I think we need a public.
Probably, I think.
Yeah.
I think Ryan is on the show, so we can.
I think he's got some explaining to do.
Yeah, this is like levels of Ben Cherington incompetence.
Well, that's mean. Now that's just mean.
It is what it is. I said it.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, so we'll be back tomorrow with Ryan, and I think it's Cody or Neil, one of the two. That will be on for the post game, and then we'll be back live on Thursday for an NS9 Live. So stay tuned, and we'll see you guys then. So, bye-bye.
Let's go Bucks.
All right, that wraps up this episode of North Shore 9. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whether you're listening on the podcast or catching us on YouTube, if you enjoyed the show, please give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It really helps us grow. And if you're listening on the podcast, a quick review goes a long way in helping others find the show. Plus, be sure to tell a friend about us. There's always room for more here in the NS9 community. And for those looking to support us a little more, consider joining our Patreon, become an MVP member, and get exclusive perks while helping us continue to bring you more of the Pirates content you love. Thanks again for all your support, and let's go Bucks.